So guys, welcome everyone. Thank you very much for joining today. It's a special moment for us. Well, actually, the special moment was a few days ago when we've done a cheeky, quiet launch of our new beautiful product. But today is super special because you will see how we are diving into all the features of the Ekahau AI Pro Online. We have 5 demos. So what can go wrong? The product is 1 week old and we'll be showing live AI Pro Online in multiple different scenarios, from warehouses going through offices, and yeah, you will see. So Ekahau AI Pro Online is today's topic. Matthew, how about the introduction before we jump in?
Alrighty. Well, you have myself and Mac. We're both the directors of product marketing and ECSE over here at Ekahau, and we're fortunate enough to have our great teammates over the pond, Dale and Justin, sales engineers over in Americas. But the star of the show today is going to be Vladdy. Vlad is the product director and has been leading the charge for our AI Pro Online brand new product. All this amazing new stuff you're going to see is mostly thanks to him, and he's going to give us some great demos today. So Vlad, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing very great. I wish I could take all the credit you gave me, but it's not the case. So as you know, we have great teams working on our products, and the credit should really go to them. They're an amazing bunch of people. I'm doing great.
So modest, Vlad. But yes, you and the product team have done an awesome job getting AI Pro Online out there. So let me take you through the agenda for the webinar today. Effectively, the way that we wanted to approach the webinar today is almost treat it as a bit of a training session, taking you through our brand new look and feel for our Ekahau Cloud landing page. You might have noticed how to navigate the new page and where to go to access different software and different tools. And then we're going to be taking you through the deep dive and exactly all the different things that you can do in Ekahau AI Pro Online. So not just designs and concepts and different things like that, but even just showing you how to import a project, how to change some settings, how to do lots of different wonderful things with Ekahau AI Pro Online. So you're fully up to speed and then can start playing with it today if you haven't yet already. We've got some really fun stuff to show you, and even Mac has got a bit of magic around our Just Go survey that I think you're really going to like. So Mac, we mentioned the new look and feel of our Ekahau Cloud.
Exactly. And this is also kind of a magic because now you don't have to like look for other things for the applications and all the links anywhere else rather than just on ekahau.cloud. So we have a new landing page experience. Everything that we have on offer is here. Every single application, access to your previous project. You can access the AI Pro Online, Insights Optimizer, private 5G, and even the mobile applications that we have. But the biggest thing that we've done recently when it comes to the cloud experience is something that you were asking for quite frequently, and that's the license management. So license management makes it super easy for you to readjust your licenses, assign them to different people, free up devices that are using licenses, and you can do it on your own without having to contact support. But I think, Matthew, you have some demo for us just about these things. So why won't we just take a look at it instead of talking about it?
It would be my absolute pleasure to give you a tour of our brand new Ekahau Cloud landing page. And I have to say, I'm totally in love with this new look and feel. It looks great and it's really nice having everything all in one place. So let's work through this together. I've just logged into my Ekahau Cloud. You will probably, if this is your first time, you'll get this what's new notification pop up taking you through what's going on here. But if we start, maybe work our way from the top left and across, I can actually click on this option here to view my account. When I look at my account, it's going to give me the details about my license and my company and my email, etc., etc. If I need to update anything here, like my details, my password, I can do that, as well as managing my account. Then the thing I notice here is I've got my AI Pro authorized devices. When I look through this, I can see the current ones that I'm using, but I notice that there's still my backup MacBook Air that's actually logged in somewhere. So I must have forgot to log out of that device. What I can actually do now is come here and click on this 3 dots and actually log out of the device, and it's going to remove it from being logged in. So you can manage this yourself now remotely. I think I actually sold that MacBook Air or gave it to someone else. So good job that I can do that from here. Then we have my sharing group. So when you come to share your project files, you might like to share it individually with people. If you're constantly working with the same group of people, you might want to create a group, and you can just click on share with my group, and then it will instantly share that to them. If sometimes you're working with someone that isn't particularly great, that you've already added to your sharing group, a bit of a slacker, doesn't really know too much about Wi-Fi, you can really simply easily delete them from your group. So sorry, Mac, but you're out of my sharing group now.
Thanks.
If I head back to the Ekahau Cloud landing page, what I can see here now on the top, working our way across, is that we have access to the Ekahau AI Pro. This is the desktop application. So if I click on this icon, it pops up the information about the Ekahau AI Pro. I can download the software if I haven't got it installed. I can find the resources and the guides, support page, and even the product page. Then if I click on this icon here, it's going to open up our Ekahau AI Pro Online. I would do this, but I don't want to steal any thunder from Vlad's demo, so I'll save that for him. But when you click on that, it will pop open the Ekahau AI Pro Online into a new tab. Then we have our Ekahau Insights, which you can use to manage all of your projects, create guest access links to share with people to be able to have the interactive cloud reporting. Then we have our Optimizer. If I click on Optimizer, it will open up Ekahau Optimizer, so I can instantly look at my measured survey files and then get instant recommendations on how to make improvements to my optimize my projects. If I want to design for private 5G cellular, I can click on this icon and it's going to open it up here. And also if I click on like the survey application, I can download the information here again, just like finding it for my iOS or Android applications, plus all of the relevant pages. If I want to access all of the apps, I can click on this here and it's going to show me all of our applications that if I want to go and find out something more, including even our Ekahau Sidekick too. And I can easily learn more about this information, or I can open the application directly and it will jump and open it straight away. Next thing I want to talk to you about are these 4 tiles that we see here. So if I want to create a new project from a survey file that I have, I can actually click on this. What you'll see is we now have this concept of sites. So if I actually just close this for a second, you'll see here that I have this folder called Ekahau AI Pro Online Demos. And if I expand this, you'll see that I've actually got some projects inside of this folder. So you can actually manage your project files and sites in a more manageable way that you're used to doing with folder management. So I can do that from here or directly from here. If I want to pick up where I left off, again, I can just click on this tab. It's going to open up Ekahau AI Pro Online, the last project file that I was working on, and I can carry on exactly where I left off. Similar to what we have here as well, if I want to go straight to my last project file that I opened in Optimizer, I can click on it here and it opens my last file that I had opened in Ekahau Optimizer, and I can instantly see the different cards and all the different recommendations, the before and after, etc., etc. Same here for my Ekahau Insights. If I click on this, it actually opens the last file I had open in my Ekahau Insights project, and I can instantly access that as well. So if I come back to the Ekahau Cloud landing page, I can easily see all of my sites here. And you might notice that some have got a D and some have got an M. The M stands for measure and the D stands for design. So this means that these are survey files versus design files. And I can see Max smiling because he thought it might mean something else. One other thing that I really like down the bottom of the new cloud landing page is these really helpful links. I know all you guys and girls love the Ekahau webinars and you want to stay up to date and make sure you can register for them. If you click on this link, it will actually open and take you to our Ekahau upcoming webinar page, so you can register for the next webinar. You can find all of our previous webinars and all of the really interesting and resources are just accessible, super simple and easily now. If you want to get trained on some further knowledge, Ekahau University, ECSE courses, etc., etc. Everything now is in one concise place and easy to access from my Ekahau Cloud. So that was a quick tour of the cloud. I will jump back because, Vlad, let's talk a little bit more about Ekahau AI Pro Online.
Yes, absolutely, Matt. As you mentioned, we have already sneakily released this on 13th of June, so this has been out there for about 2 weeks. So for those of you who have logged into ekahau.cloud, you have probably already found it. And what it's in a nutshell, what we have released is we're taking our survey data with Sidekick 2 to a completely new level. And what you will see in this webinar and in the tool itself, you wouldn't need to draw any more walls to simulate any upgrades or changes to your network. You can just take your survey file from Sidekick 2, upload it to Ekahau Cloud, open it in AI Pro Online, and just go ahead, do any changes to your network without worrying about the walls and obstacles. And this is due to our new AI ML propagation model that our beautiful research team has baked for us. And
Yeah.
I hope we will see more of that today.
For sure. And I mean, Vlad, this has totally revolutionized the workflow, hasn't it?
Absolutely. So this will save hours and days of working time.
Totally. So guys, just to re-emphasize what Vlad has said, everything we do now is based ideally on a survey measured data. If you have been around wearing your Sidekick 2, and if you have that measured data, you can use it to not only optimize your existing Wi-Fi network very, very easily. I would risk saying that using Ekahau Optimizer, even if you don't have PhD in Wi-Fi, will help you solve 90% of Wi-Fi issues if you're in your existing network, okay? That's a lot. And if you can't really sort something out with the configuration changes, that's where Ekahau AI Pro Online comes into play. You can use Ekahau AI Pro Online to work with your measured data without drawing anything, no walls, no attenuation areas, no bollocks. You don't waste any time doing all these time-consuming things. You straight start working with your APs, placing them, replacing them, adding, removing, playing around, and the ML AI created environment, the RF environment, your building model is extremely accurate and everything is extremely fast, as you will see in a second. So everything starts with a Sidekick, and then you use that to optimize existing Wi-Fi or design, redesign, rip and replace in Ekahau AI Pro Online. So this is, guys, extremely cool. Extremely cool.
Yes, and a couple of words about how it actually works. So basically, we are taking the extremely accurate data from Sidekick, and we are feeding it to our proprietary AI ML engine, which has specifically created for this use case. And according to our tests with extensive amount of project files, we can definitely say that the results that the AI environment provides are much more accurate than the comparable designs made manually. So this will be definitely a very useful tool where you can skip all the tedious work and just let the AI do the tedious work for you.
Yeah, and I noticed a lot of people in the chat and in the Q&A asking some great questions. We can address a couple here very quickly. One of them being that I just saw come in around where was it? It's just jumped. There was a question that somebody asked that about does AI Pro Online only work with measured survey data? So currently, yes, the Ekahau AI Pro Online is based off measured survey data that you collect with your Sidekick 2. And that's what you can use to then redefine your network, account for changes super fast without drawing any walls or any obstacles, anything like that at all. So you can leverage that with the Ekahau AI Pro Online. If for some reason you haven't got measured survey data, perhaps you haven't had a chance to get on site yet, and you still need to do a predictive model to find out roughly how many access points you might need. So you want to upload a floor plan, draw walls, and place access points and simulate coverage in the more traditional method that we're used to. That's still totally doable, and you can do that as of today with Ekahau AI Pro, the desktop application. And very soon you'll be able to do that with the online version of Ekahau AI Pro 2. So you're going to be able to do it in both ways. Currently, AI Pro Online is focusing on the measured survey data way of doing designs and redesigns. And then the desktop version, you can still do your normal traditional ways of designing networks. However, in the future, just a few months' time, you're going to be able to do both methods using the Ekahau AI Pro Online.
And more people are asking about more functionality, like are you going to support AP on a stick in AI Pro Online? And the answer is yes. So guys, just to give you a quick timeline, we are moving more and more features from traditional Ekahau AI Pro desktop version to Ekahau AI Pro Online. So everything that you can do in Ekahau AI Pro, you will be able to soon do in Ekahau AI Pro Online. But now what we are looking at on the screen, guys, is like we haven't done anything to the survey file. This is just surveyed with actually multiple sidekicks on site. So it was Matt, me, Vlad, Mika, and a few other guys walking around the multi-floor building, capturing survey data. And that's it. This is uploaded to the cloud. We opened that app in Ekahau AI Pro Online. And you can see that we understand the environment. We understand there is no attenuation other than free space path loss and reflections in the corridors. When you move the access point between different meeting rooms or open space and a meeting room, the propagation of the RF waves, it changes completely. So we understand it, and there is no wall drawn there. So we've spent actually 0 seconds preparing this project. It was just measured survey data and Ekahau AI Pro Online. Cool, isn't it?
I think it's super cool, and I know a lot of our users and guests on the webinar today think it's super cool. There was a question that came in from Harry as well, asking about the Ekahau AI Pro Online and being able to like leverage photos and deployment guides. So what we just want to say is that pretty much everything that you can currently do with the desktop version of Ekahau AI Pro is going to be supported in Ekahau AI Pro Online. Add in photos, the reporting, all of the stuff you're very much used to and comfortable with doing in the desktop application is going to be there very, very soon in the online version as well. And another frequently asked question that we've had come up around the Ekahau AI Pro Online, with it being based off measured survey data, is do you need to approach surveying differently for the AI ML engine to work well for your measured survey designs? And the answer is, hopefully, everybody, boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen on the call today, you don't need to survey any differently because we all survey like the green tick box option for what we can see here. When you do a site survey, you should go into all of the rooms that you care about, walk on both sides of the walls, understand the environment. If you're performing surveys currently like the red cross option where you just walk hallways, that's not best practices for doing site surveys. So as long as you're doing site surveys the correct way, like you can see in the option, which is the green checkbox in the top half of the image, then you don't need to approach surveying any differently. The better quality the survey, the better opportunity and chance you're going to give the AI ML engine to work well. The data that you're seeing as well, in this image that you saw here, these surveys were completed almost nearly 2 years ago. Sidekick 2 has been around for coming up to 2 years. So if you've got a survey file collected with the Sidekick 2 going back nearly 2 years now, you can use that project file with Ekahau AI Pro Online. You don't need to go and do a new survey with the Sidekick 2. You can just open an old Sidekick 2 survey file in Ekahau AI Pro Online. And actually, when you take a look at this, I just want to show you the survey path we took. So this is on the left-hand side showing you in Ekahau AI Pro Online, moving the access point around and the heat map updating automatically without any walls drawn. This is the survey path that we took. So we did autopilot survey of the environment, and this is the floor plan. And you can see we've gone into all of the rooms that we had access to and not done anything crazy or anything differently than what you would have been doing to normally approach surveying anyway. So there are a few of the questions that we get. Often, if you have any other questions, do please fire them in the Q&A. We're going to try and answer as many as we can. If you see any questions in the Q&A you really want us to answer, if you upvote them, they'll have the best chance for us answering them before the end of the webinar today. Okay, Vlad, I think it's time to hand over to you for some live demos of AI Pro Online.
Yes, let's jump ahead, and I hope, Matt, I can continue from where you stopped. So the landing page, ekahau.cloud. So let's now click what you didn't. So AI Pro Online, let's see what happens here. So now AI Pro Online is loading. It should open my latest project. But for you, if you are a new user, I hope this demo will be sort of a mini tutorial to get you started with AI Pro Online. So you probably want to get to your survey files with Sidekick 2. So you can click on this header here on the left and navigate to import new file. And here soon you will see basically a list of all the files, including survey data. And you can click on the import. And if you notice for some reason that the label says not supported, this might be to some reasons like you have not marked my networks or my APs in the project file, or currently in this version of AI Pro, AP on the stick surveys are not supported. So if you have frozen APs in your file, this might result in not supported state. But in any case, let's go ahead and start importing the file. And while it's importing, I can show you how this project looks in AI Pro. So you can see that the surveys have been quite extensive. So all the rooms have been visited. So this is a good prerequisite for generating a very good AI environment. So you don't need to draw any walls. And just a reminder here, if you change some AP locations in AI Pro, you can see that heat maps are not updated, and you will soon see the difference that this means in AI Pro Online. So let's jump back. The project is now imported, and what we can see here, maybe let's walk through overall elements of the UI. So on the left-hand side, you see this blue icon selected. This is basically your composition of your project, right? So here we can see environment, and if you open this drop-down, you will see that it says AI environment, and what it means is that you don't need to draw any walls. Basically, we have it active. You don't need to do anything. So you can simulate any changes already. Areas, if you open it up, we have only one area, and this is also imported from the project file from the survey.
Hey,
so
Vlad,
this is the area. Yeah, absolutely.
please do me a favor, and where it says at the bottom of your screen, hide, can you click on that little
Yes.
thank you. Because now
Here we
we will
go.
not. Now we can see all of the AI Pro Online in its full glory without the annoying Zoom bar covering it up. Thank you.
It was intentional. I was hiding this secret information from you guys, but okay, good. Thanks, Matt. All right, but here you can see the requirement area. We will check the requirements a bit later. And most importantly, you can see the devices that are present in this project. So five access points, and you can obviously select them, and you will see heat maps related to this specific access point. So we checked the composition, but let's now continue to the project settings. So in the project settings, you will see the name of the project. You can see the regulatory domain. And one thing to note about regulatory domain, now it's set to other. But if you would change it, for example, to some specifics, so maybe let's see Norway, right? And you get this pop-up which says that regular domain conflicts. What it means is basically some of your project configurations do not correspond to the regulations in that domain. So what you want to do is basically go to this network configurations and check if any bands have some channels or ranges that are not supported in this domain. And in this case, we can see that on 6 gigahertz, we have some things that are not supported within this domain. So just click them off, and you would basically get rid of that pop-up warning. And it also means that now you're basically safe, and all the access point you will be placing or configurations changes will correspond to this regulatory domain. You could also import another project or create a report in the project settings, but we could check those a bit later. So this is about project settings, and now let's move on to the user settings. Here we have a few settings that you might be interested. So switching the unit of length between feet and meters, pretty familiar from AI Pro, I guess, for those who have been using it. Also, the unit of power changes are available, and you don't need to wait for light theme or green theme or whatever. They are already available. So basically, here you can switch between the light and the dark themes. I personally prefer to use dark theme because I reside in Finland, and my soul is dark, and whatever jokes you can make out of it. But anyway, of course, EULA and privacy policy you can check also here. But I think we have gone through the basic settings on the left panel. So let's check other elements. Maybe let's go back to composition here, and let's check other elements. So toolbar, you have a select tool, area tool, access point tool, so we call it device tool, and AI auto planner. So with this, only these few tools, you can do magic. I can show you a bit later how you can use those. But let's first look at another element. So here at the bottom, you can see visualization toolbar. Here you can change the floor. If you have multi-floor project, you can switch to different bands. Here, let's switch to 5 gigahertz. Maybe it's more common to look at that. And we have some heat maps, of course, right? We have 5 heat maps. So signal strength is obviously the primary one. Then you have secondary signal strength. You have signal to noise ratio heat maps. You also have channel interference. And finally, you have here a dominant AP heat map, which in a plain language means that it shows you the areas where the signal is strongest for a particular AP. So for example, this purple color is where this AP in the bottom right corner has the strongest signal. So these heat maps are available out of the box. And of course, if you look at the next item here, you have to see this blue circle, and it's about the pass rate. So it indicates how much of your requirement area is actually meeting your network requirements for this particular heat map. And an interesting thing to note is you see I'm moving the cursor right on the heat map, and you see on the legend here the values are changing. So you can get the exact value from the heat map by just looking at this tooltip in the legend, right? The other way around, if you move your cursor on the legend, you might notice, I zoom in a bit, you might notice that you will see these hashed areas, right? And it indicates to you that this area is at least with this signal strength here. So you can analyze pretty easily your heat maps with this quite simple, just hovering over heat map or legend items, right? So pretty neat. But now I think we have covered the basic UI elements. So now it's time to actually do some interactions on the canvas, right? I think Matt and Mac already showed you when you in these slides what happens if you move APs. So you can see here that I don't need to draw any walls. I just drag APs and it kind of knows how the environment is behaving and changing. And if you want to reset this AP back to its original location, you see there is a thin line going from this ghosted AP. You just need to click on this reset device button when selecting this AP, or you can do the same by right-clicking on the left panel and just click reset, and the AP will snap back to its original location. This is pretty handy if you, for example, accidentally move the AP, which you didn't intend, so you can just quickly get it back, right? So that's pretty neat. And what happens if I just remove this AP? So you can just click a delete button. So the AP is now uninstalled, thrown to the garbage, whatnot. So you can see immediate changes to the heat map. But if this happens by accident, or if you just want to restore its location or go back to the original state, we still show these deleted or removed devices on the left panel, right? So you can select them and you can restore those devices back so they get back to their original state. So no worries, you can experiment, do whatever you like, and always get back to your original state. Okay, pretty cool. Maybe now I want to show you something about AI Auto Planner, right? Just a small demonstration what it can do for you. So let me mess up this network a bit. So let me just select all the APs. I have some TX power, which is mixed, and let me set it to some ridiculously low value, like some 2, maybe like this. Well, coverage is still okay, but if I look at my secondary coverage, well, it's not okay, right? So imagine you've done a survey, and this is what you get for your secondary coverage. One option would be, of course, to go ahead and start manually tinkering and figuring out what are the TX powers, so you don't mess up your channel interference. You go individually by AP. Well, you don't need really to do that, right? It's annoying. You just click AI Auto Planner, and what it can do for you, for example, first option is just to optimize your channels, TX power, bandwidth, and turn off some unnecessary radios. You can do that. If you are missing some coverage which cannot be resolved by these configurations, we have an option to automatically add APs according to the selected model, or you can do everything at once. In my case, I don't really need to or want to add any additional APs. I just want to fix this secondary coverage issue, this annoying issue. So let's click just optimize my channels TX powers, and only a couple of seconds, it's done. So now when I go ahead and basically look at the heat maps, my secondary coverage is now fixed. So it's all good. And in addition to that, I want to check my channel interference, right? So is it still okay after this TX power change? And it's all green. So AI Auto Planner basically in just seconds fix this issue without any manual tinkering. If I select some APs, I can see that the new TX power has been set to 11 in this case. So pretty nice, right? Okay, let's switch back to our signal strength maybe, and let's talk about the coverage requirements and requirement areas, right? So in the beginning, I mentioned that we have a single requirement area, and by default, if you select this area with the select tool, you can see that we apply Ekahau best practices to this area, but you can with ease create any additional requirement areas and custom requirements. So you will use area tool for that. It's familiar from AI Pro users, so it's pretty much the same, except you can create both requirement areas and exclusion areas with the same tool. So let's say I want a bit tighter requirements for this space up here. Well, let me change the blue color. I like color blue here. Here we go. So it's a bit different than the other area. So let me start drawing this area, and let's say it's just a simple rectangular area here. You can modify those points later on. You can pretty much easily modify this afterwards. No need to get it the first time, right? So here we go. So what if I needed to create some custom requirements for this area? You just select it, go to the drop down here, and click on the new custom profile. And the new custom profile will allow you basically to create any requirements based on the available heat maps you like. So let's call this test profile, maybe something like this. And what I want to do here on 5 gigahertz, I want to set some very ridiculous value here. Let's put maybe some 45, something crazy. And you can see immediately in the heat maps, you see the effect, right? So this custom profile is instantly applied to this area. And it shows you that I'm not meeting these super tight requirements that I set here, right? Okay, so what if I wanted to create some exclusion areas? The same applies. I just click the area tool, click on the exclusion area. And for example, if I draw a rectangle here, it will basically tell the system, so I'm excluding this from my pass rate calculation. So you can see that the pass rate is updated in real time. So currently it's 95, and that is because I'm missing some coverage here based on my super tight requirements. Well, this is how you use custom requirements and area tool in AI Pro Online. What we haven't covered yet is that how you place new devices, right? The most interesting part, right? So let's go to the device tool. Let's select appropriate device, and you will have access to all the devices and access point you have used in AI Pro. So it's the same extensive library and same antenna patterns that you are used to. So you can get those same here. So let's use Aruba, some Aruba access point, maybe some 634, maybe use this access point. I'm using this point access point because it actually has some interesting antenna pattern I want to show you. So what you do, you just put it in place here, and it acts in a similar way that those measured APs. So you can move it around, and the heat maps are updated instantly, right? You can also see small blue dot here, so you can rotate the access points, so you can change the orientation very easily, right? And what else can you do here? So I didn't yet show you how you can change some settings here. So when you select an access point, you will see this access point setting, and you can change on the radio level any setting you like. So basically channels, TX power. If you click on advanced setting, you will see a network and a bandwidth and also antenna model here. So don't be surprised to see that the channel is set to auto if you place those APs by default. And what it means is basically we want to automate the channel planning here, so you don't need to do it afterwards. So basically, if you click on these 3 dots, you will be able to turn it off and select any custom channel. But if you have it turned on, right, and if you move, for example, this access point close to another one, and let's say you see I have on 5 gigahertz, I have channel 52 here, and on the newly added, I have 48. So what happens if I just manually change this channel to the same as I have in the other access points? So let's put it to 48. What happens? You see it automatically readjusted the channels to accommodate any changes. So pretty neat. You don't need to worry that much about the channel planning with this tool. Just set them to auto and it will automate these things. Okay, so as I mentioned, this access point has an external antenna capability, so I can choose any antenna here. So currently it's this one. And the cool thing is that you can see the 3D patterns for all the antennas, and you can swap whichever antenna here you like. So if I would just choose another antenna here, it will be immediately updated to the heat map. So you can see very quickly what's the impact of different antenna patterns here, right? So I hope this helps you to at least get started with the planning capabilities of AI Pro Online. But last but not least, I maybe want to show you the reporting part. So basically, you would go to the project settings and click Create a Report. It will start generating a report. It might take a couple of minutes, and that's why I have already pre-generated it. So you will get basically a PDF out, which has some cover page. It will have a summary of the changes you have made. So basically devices added, removed, buildings, areas, etc. It will have all your requirement profiles listed here, which you have applied. It will have an index map with your APs and where they are on the map, and also the changes or any newly added devices, how they're to be installed. And in addition, of course, all the configuration changes, including channels, TX powers, whatnot. On a radio level, you get this in the report. And it wouldn't be a report without heat maps. So for each band, for each heat map, you have a own page, including the areas and the pass rate for those requirements you had set for your requirement areas. So this is a brief intro, and I hope Mac and Matt will show you some real use cases and some Just Go survey and combination AF Pro Online next. So back to you guys.
Thank you, Vlad. And Mac, we're going to hand over to you to share, because I know you've got some, what are we calling it? Eka Magic to show.
Okay, sharing my Eka Magic.
Yeah, whilst you're bringing up the share, lots of questions. Don't worry, reporting is going to get a lot more complex. You'll be able to do lots more things with the Ekahau AI Pro Online and the reporting and features. You all mentioned amazing, great stuff, offsets and lots of other features visualization wise. Just bear in mind that it won't be long before you see all of those features come into the online version as well. But great suggestions to bring them all up. So our Ekahau Just Go survey mode, if you're not familiar with what this is, it's something that we something that we announced back in October of last year. And what it lets you leverage is the basically a pro version of an iOS device, iPhone or Android. And what you can do, if you haven't got a floor plan of your facility, or you want to really quickly just collect survey data without having to track your location manually, you can actually just connect your Sidekick or Sidekick 2 to your iOS device, walk around your environment. Sidekick 2 measures everything happening in the RF space, Wi-Fi and non-Wi-Fi. Also, the iOS device will build the floor plan for you as you move around. So you'll have a floor plan created for you, and you'll have all of that rich RF information. Next slide, please, Mac. And when we compare the data for the Just Go survey mode, you can see on the left-hand side, we did an autopilot survey on the real floor plan of the office in Helsinki versus the Just Go survey that was created on the right-hand side. But what you can see is you still get the data that you need. All of the access points are in their locations, all of the heat maps, every way that the access point is configured with the networks and things that you can do to optimize and instantly improve. But sometimes the feedback is that some people think the sketch of the Just Go survey mode maybe isn't presentable enough for some of their customers. But Mac, I think you've got a really nice little magic trick that you want to show, right?
Absolutely / totally. So guys, like the feedback is that Just Go survey is absolutely amazing, and we agree. It's faster, It's less intimidating. You don't have to have like a good skills when it comes to locating yourself on a map. And it's basically error-free because when you walk around, your device creates the floor plan as you go and then correlates all the data captured with a Sidekick 2 with your real location on the map. So it's not only the fastest, but also the most accurate. But we agree that like now with the introduction of the AI Pro Online and doing a design based on the survey data, it might be quite useful to still see the layout of your furniture, to see where your users are. When you start placing a piece around the map, you want to focus your coverage where your users are, where your devices are. So it's probably sometimes good to see these furniture layouts, for example. So here we have our current old-ish, but still beautiful Ekahau AI Pro desktop version. And we have a Just Go survey done in Helsinki office. And now we have a beautiful sketch. And the sketch is perfectly usable. We can see the layout of the office. It is usable. So what I have done with this, I hit just Command E or Control E to export this floor plan. So with Control E, you can export anything you look at in Ekahau AI Pro. So I've done just that. And then based on my export, I have this file in my desktop, but I also happen to have this file, which is the layout of a Helsinki office. So this is like a sneak peek into upcoming features. So soon-ish, you will be able to do it more automatically using Ekahau tools. But currently, if you want to do it, you can have your 2 layers in your Photoshop, in your Affinity Photo, GIMP, Matthew is a GIMP, whatever you use, you can put your real floor plan on top of the exported sketch. And now you can see that my floor plan is sitting on top of the sketch. When I change the opacity, you can see just that. So then I export this file back to my floor plans. So now I have this floor plan. Now look at this magical thing. I have my Ekahau AI Pro. I hit 3 magical dots, and then I do swap map image. This is my original one, and this one has the same pixels count. It's just done in Affinity, Photoshop, whatever. I hit open, bam. And now I look at the Just Go survey results with my floor plan on it overlaid. So how cool is it going to be for you to be able to do it automatically so you don't have to do this, Photoshop magic? It is coming, but this is quite cool, isn't it? It is a very easy to do use case. Like it took me honestly 30 seconds in Photoshop thingy to do it. Not more than that. It's simple. Now I saved it to the cloud, and let's take a look at the cloud quickly, shall we? So it is in my cloud, this beautiful network. It's called the Helsinki Sidekick 2 swapped. So I am looking at exactly that. This is the project floor plan. This is the stuff that I was just looking at. And now I'm looking at the optimizer. So of course, guys, you can still use Ekahau AI Pro if you want to do manual review of your survey data to check how you can optimize your network. We are discussing this quickly for the completeness of picture. So we have the Ekahau, we have the Ekahau Just Go survey done. We have measured data. We have a beautiful measured data project, and now we can use it to optimize our existing Wi-Fi network before we do a redesign, okay? Because why not? It takes minutes now. So look at that. Here, I can look at all the heat maps. I have like a signal strength, primary signal strength, secondary signal strength, signal to noise ratio, channel interference, which is CCI, same channel overlapping. I can go to inspect. I can check the configuration of some of my access points. I can see the minimum basic rates that are too low. I can see transmitting power levels that are too low. I can see the SSIDs. I can compare which SSIDs are broadcasted on what frequency bands. It might be a little bit daunting. It might be a little bit too much for those of you that don't have PhD in Wi-Fi. That is why we have created Ekahau Optimizer for you. So in Ekahau Optimizer, you can access it straight from ekahau.cloud. Here is the optimizer. You just open up your measure survey project, and there we go. Primary coverage is not too good on 6 gigahertz. This is what it looks like now. If you follow our best practices, these are handcrafted recommendations for your network. It can be perfect. Secondary coverage. This is what it means. We need it for roaming, for redundancy on the AP level, and blah, blah, blah. This is what it's now. This is what it will be like after. Channel interferers. interference. Now on 6 gigahertz, we have probably wrongly configured channels. This is what it's like now. This is what it's like after. So you can see that we can fix it easily. SNR, same thing. This is after, this is now. Rogue APs, you can see where your rogue interfering APs, any APs, broadcasting, Wi-Fi stuff that are not part of your network or RF interferers, they will be located on the map for you, so you can go there and remove them from the network. Channel width, we highlight in red what we think is wrong based on your requirements, on your success criteria that Vlad was talking about in Ekahau AI Pro Online. We suggest that you drop channel widths, that you don't mix channel widths for many reasons, stickiness, and then protection mechanism, request to send, clear to send. Minimum basic rates, they were too low. Make them higher a little bit. SSIDs configuration, dual band SSIDs, you will have clients jumping between 2.4 and 5 sometimes on the call, and then the call will be over because there is no such thing as fast roaming when you jump between frequency bands. And that's, guys, the optimizer. And also, like Vladi was showing us the report, we also have a report here. So you can see the changes on the radius level. You can do that manually, but also very soon you will be able to deploy to your network if you have API connectivity to your vendor. So that's optimizer in 3.5 minutes, guys. So that was very...
1 second, Mac. I saw something else there that I didn't see an optimizer before that you just breezed over.
This one.
Oh, what's that?
Whatever. Okay. Joking. So, guys, you can also, we have a new tool. You're right, Matthew. A security report. So another silent launch. You can open it up. You can see the security state of your network. So we will be highlighting the rogue APs, encryption, and interferers. So you can very quickly address those security things in your Wi-Fi networks, okay? As simple as that. All right, so that was the intro to the security stuff. Now, but mom, I don't want to be optimizing Wi-Fi manually anymore, and that is why we have Optimizer. Honeys, you don't need to do it anymore manually. Just use Ekahau Optimizer. It's there for you. All right. So now with Ekahau Optimizer and the survey data, we can fix existing configuration of our Wi-Fi network configuration. But the reality is not always you can use the optimizer. Oh, you can always use optimizer, but you cannot fix everything with just the configuration changes. Sometimes you will have to do a redesign of your network. So that's what brings us to drawing walls. And drawing walls is killing me. Drawing walls is killing you. It's probably killing Matthew. However, we have the mindset of like, when we draw walls for 3 weeks for a massive project, then we use it as a meditation, and life is good. But not everyone has the skill to be drawing walls, repetitive task for 3 weeks. So imagine drawing walls for this big thing, or measuring racks attenuation for this big thing that has like 8 sections. It's like as big as 11 football fields. This takes absolute forever, okay? Forever. So now you might think, okay, Vladi was showing us the AI Pro Online measured survey data used to do a design, redesign, slide changes and optimizations. Does it work everywhere? Does it just work in the office? Does it work in the warehouse? And I would say, let's take a look. So I have a warehouse. So this is the warehouse from the big picture, actually, just to make it a little bit more comprehensible. Is that a word? Make it easier to look at. I've cropped the surveys, removed the surveys outside of a single section, but this is easily translatable to any size warehouse. It can be massive, doesn't matter. And now what I have here is the warehouse survey data. I haven't done anything to it, nothing, zero, no walls, no attenuation. I haven't spent a second trying to measure attenuation of the racks and reflections and stuff. I don't care about it anymore. So I have my racks on the floor plan. We've done a proper survey. The shadows of the access points, these are the APs that I have removed from the survey. They're still there. I have the data. We understand the RF environment, but I have removed them. And now I have a new access point. I placed the Aruba AP634 on the wall, 5 meters above the ground. And now I have the Axelotex antenna 81010. That is a 10 dBi gain antenna that is quite lovely. As you can see, I positioned this beautiful dot down. So we are shooting down. And now let me show you some quick magic. I am moving this AP to another rack, and look, we understand the rack attenuation. We understand how the signal propagates in between the racks. How cool is that stuff? So now if you have the massive warehouse survey data, and if it's accurate, if you've been on both sides of all the racks and everything is spot on survey-wise, you can just start locating APs, placing APs on the map, and it takes minutes now instead of hours or days of repetitive work. And this, my friends, was a very quick intro into warehouse design using survey data. I wish we could spend more time, but I appreciate we have like 10 minutes left. So let's crack on and look at different things. So Matthew, I think you will be sharing your screen now.
Yes. Let me take over the share quickly, and I can just talk you through another really great use case for Ekahau AI Pro Online. So recently I was in Oslo at one of the Aruba offices, and I did a survey of the office, and this is what we're looking at right now in Ekahau AI Pro Online. So what you can see, these are all of the Aruba access points, and you can see that we have just 2.4 and 5 gigahertz coverage coming from the access points. And you can click on one of the icons and see how far it covers. But one of the questions that we would get all the time from customers and stakeholders would be that when it was due for a Wi-Fi lifecycle upgrade, the customer or the stakeholder, one of the questions they would always ask us would be, can I just buy the newest, latest version of the access point? So perhaps like 6 gigahertz capable Aruba APs. And then can I just take down my old access points and then just put up these new ones in the exact same location? Well, hopefully a lot of us on this call, we all understand that realistically, the answer to that can vary, because perhaps maybe the way that you had the Wi-Fi network designed 5, 6, 7 years ago isn't going to be up to scratch for what you want the Wi-Fi to work in 2024 or going into 2025. There's so many new demands for and new requirements for Wi-Fi these days, that maybe you just need to add some additional access points or reconfigure where you place some of these access points and run new cables. But then there's also the chance that if you did have a really well-designed 5 gigahertz network a few years ago, it might actually be perfectly suitable for a 6 gigahertz deployment, keeping those locations. But the one thing that I would say is that usually, unless you do a survey and look at that data, you wouldn't know. So what you can actually do with Ekahau AI Pro Online is I've got all of these network devices here. I can actually select all of them. And what I want to do is I want to swap them for an Aruba access point. And I want to swap them for 6. Actually, let me just put in Aruba here and see if keeping these APs in their location will work. But just one thing to remind you before I click on this, remember we only have 2.4 and 5 gigahertz coverage coming out of AI Pro Online at the moment. But when I select this access point model, you now notice we have a 6 gigahertz option. So I can actually see the predicted simulated 6 gigahertz coverage for these access points. And I now have a very good understanding if this network, keeping the access points in the same locations, is going to meet those requirements. Or perhaps there might just be one part of the office that isn't quite meeting my requirements. Maybe it's a secondary coverage thing or whatever. I'll come back to the primary coverage here. And let's say, for example, in this location, maybe I want to move this access point. I can just super easily plan for that now. I can just relocate this access point to cover this more important meeting room now that maybe didn't used to be such an important space. So being able to just easily and quickly modify your design and simulate and see if you're going to be able to have the coverage you desire without having to do lots of tedious work and draw walls. This is just a fantastic way of doing it. So that was a quick demo on that. But wait, Vlad, I think you said there might be some more.
Yes, as always, there's always more. And I think you already mentioned one question. I'm sure there are a lot of questions about this. So basically, for those who are waiting for the more traditional ways of planning, like bringing in CAD maps, PDF, bitmap, whatever formats, it's coming to AI Pro pretty soon. So before leaves fall from trees in Finland, I'm pretty sure we will get this for you. So just bear with us. So it's coming also for the classical mode. And not only that, we are bringing 3D view, inclined surfaces, and multi-view, and many more cool features to the tool. So we are really boosting the effort here. And also one important thing you will see on the next slide is basically we are also integrating with the AP vendor APIs. So what it will mean for AI Pro Online is that you make a survey one day, right? You get your file to ekahau.cloud. Then later on, you connect to your AP vendor API and fetch the latest data, and you get basically a live update to your file. You will see how your network is performing at that exact moment when you have this data in the real configuration. So it's
And
pretty
quick
much a
question
live view.
here.
Yeah.
It's like, what do we use to visualize the propagation of the Wi-Fi RF waves? Do we use the old school, boring and not so accurate drone walls with specified attenuation only and free space path loss, or do we use the new measured based environment that we have created based on the real measured survey data?
Not really. I know some tools use this a bit old method, this not very accurate method of like simulated walls, and just putting the configuration will not really provide you the accurate results. What we are doing is basically we are using this more accurate AI environment, the algorithm that you saw in all the demos. So we are using that, and we are just fetching more data to it to enrich it, and it will give you much more accurate representation of your current network state.